4:04. We're a little early tonight. Although if you're listening in the future, it really doesn't matter. But we're early tonight because daylight savings time just had to mess everything up, and it's sickening, appalling. Does anyone like daylight saving? Sean, how you doing? Do you like daylight saving time?
I'm a fan of it when it makes it dark early and I gain an hour of sleep. When I lose an hour of sleep, no, I got problems with that. You're taking away my time and not asking me if that's allowed.
See, my thing with that is when that happens, I realize, I'm gonna pay for this in the future because we're gonna have to jump forward as well. Like that time will come. You have to repay them.
Yeah.
So even then I'm like, oh, that was cool. But I'm like,
all it does is show you that time is bullshit in a social construct. If they can just change, we're going to go an hour ahead. Why? Says who? Oh, well, we decided that. Like, piss off with that, dude.
Yeah, I have no problem with them leaving it after we jump forward because that means it'll be later, longer. I have no problem with that. Like, that's fine. We're good. We don't have to do it again.
It's isn't it because of farmers or some shit?
Yeah, but now everyone's like, we should just get rid of it. I feel like now I don't really see anyone who's like, oh, daylight savings time is so excited, so happy that it's a thing.
Yeah,
I've not seen anyone say that. Although back in the day, maybe it's because we were younger. I don't remember as many people complaining about it either. We also didn't have Twitter, so yeah. We didn't have all that. So I just I look at it as just an annoyance. It throws everything off, and it takes me like a week just to get used to it anyway. It ends up being a whole thing. So, and then I get the comments on Monday and Tuesday about why Newswave is like an hour off or something. It's like,
I don't even like mess with one of my cars doesn't have, it's an older car, so it doesn't have like the automatic update. I just leave it. But now
go around the horn. It'll be fine 6 months from now. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
It'll be fine now because it'll be the right time instead of an hour early.
Maybe you're planning ahead.
Yeah. That's be a first time for everything.
That's what it is. Fransby says, oh, Sean, any good videos to see the story of the WWE, like the plots and drama? I want to get into it. Shout out to Fransby, by the way. Remember
talking about current? I mean, current is really the WWE YouTube channel has been putting on like a lot of, like, it has all the recaps and stuff of the recent shows. It's a decent time to get in because the storylines are kind of set in place for WrestleMania. And oh god, I was gifted a membership. I will not be renewing my membership with you.
Hey.
And so, that's a good thing. And if you want the older stuff, they've got the WWF vault or the WWE vault now, and they have the WCW vault, which I've been binging all weekend because it's so good. Like, I guess they're getting, because right now, how they transitioned over to Netflix. Like, there's been a lot of questions as to whether or not the legacy content is going to go from Peacock to Netflix. But if they're just they're putting up full pay-per-views and full episodes of Nitro and Thunder on the WCW vault. So I hope they just do that because it'd be so much easier. I don't have to worry about any commercials because I have YouTube Premium.
That's great because back in the day, you basically have to go rent the DVDs at the video store to be able to watch any of that old stuff.
DVD? No, you have to get the VHS tapes, son. I remember renting.
Yeah,
I remember renting VHS tapes. I rented WrestleMania 2 in like years after it happened because I never saw it and I wanted to see the Hogan and Bundy cage match. And then WrestleMania 6, that was the big one because it was Warrior versus Hogan. And you're like, holy fuck, the two good guys are going after each other.
You could probably get into WWE now as they're building up the WrestleMania because all they're just going to do is recap all the stuff that's happening now, right? Like they're just going to reinforce all the fights.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the storylines are set and they will just play out.
Yeah. Shout out to Ned the Barbarian, becoming a YouTube member. And we got OJ joining us. OJ in right at the start. We were sitting here, we're like, let's just go live. We're already thinking about how we're moving an hour ahead in a bit. We're just like, let's get going.
My bad, but I'm here.
Oh no, you're good. You were right on time. Actually, we started a couple minutes early, so
okay.
We were ready to roll. We were just sitting here like, let's go. So hey, for once we were early. Everyone who says we're usually late cast, we were actually early this time. So it's good to be here. Good to have you, OJ. Good. How'd the pre-stream go?
Went well. Thanks for having me once again. Had a lot of fun. Talking about random stuff. Barely talk about games. Talk about LeBron. I know RGT, you're sick to your stomach about what happened recently. But
what, the Stephen A. Smith confrontation?
Or well, we were talking about that, but like how the Knicks lost in overtime to the Lakers, and I know.
Oh yeah, I didn't sleep that night, OJ. I didn't. Next thing I knew, it was 6:30 in the morning, and I'm still wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. I slept for 2 hours from like 10:30 to 12:30, and then that was it. I went about my day, and I went to bed at like 8 last night, and I saw that they lost to the Clippers because there's no Brunson, and Tom Thibodeau is a terrorist. So, like, what the fuck are you gonna do? You know,
was it the loss that kept you up at night, Sean, or was it more so the Jalen Brunson injury that kept you up at night?
I would say it was a combination of both because it was a very winnable game that shouldn't have gone into overtime. And if the game did not go into overtime, Brunson doesn't get hurt.
Okay, that's a good point.
You know,
okay.
It's it is what it is.
When the next time the Knicks play?
I think tomorrow.
He's a small guard that has injury. He's kind of a small guard with injury problems, though.
He's never had injury problems.
He's had some injuries.
He's missed like one game this season.
No, I meant in the past though.
No,
like did he have injury issues in the Mavs? Because he was with the Mavericks, wasn't he?
He was the one who was playing because Luka got hurt.
Okay,
Luka did get hurt a lot.
I am thinking of the different guy on the team. Then I think I'm thinking.
Sounds like he's going to develop.
Cat, you're thinking of Cat probably. Cat
no.
Injury
Who's the guard that got injured for you guys last year? And was it that Anunoby guy or was it
Anunoby? He got hurt. He's okay. Forward. Now he does have some injury issues.
Okay, my bad. That was the guy.
We actually play Monday against the Kings, which shouldn't be a problem, but I'm sure it will be.
Did you have this little machine too, Sean? Corey McIntyre came in and said, speaking of the VHS, did you guys have that little machine? All it did was rewind tapes. Ours looked like a red convertible. What up, RGT? How's the fam?
No, see, like tape rewinders, people clown on them, but because they're like, you could just do it in the VCR itself. But like, they're legit because it does it faster.
Fast. Yeah, it was really fast. And you had to rewind it. You had to. Well, you can't go back there without rewinding. Come on. It was loud too. Ours was loud. You put it in there, but
I never had one.
It was serious business.
Fabulous.
I mean, really, you'd only really need it if. I mean, I think it made sense if you were renting. Like we try to rent stuff, every weekend, every other weekend or something, VHS tapes or games. So it made sense then, because otherwise you're sitting there waiting forever for the
Well, and if you owned VHS tapes,
yeah. So it was just a lot easier. Also, it took the wear and tear off of the
VCR,
off of the VCR itself, which not a huge deal now. Back then, it was like, no, you got to respect this thing. Those weren't cheap then. Oh, Cat is back. Came a YouTube member. Shout out to Cat is back. Shout out. Let's see. What do we have tonight? We had the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 situation got announced. Quickly turned to disappointment for people. So we'll go over that. We had Mario Day is actually this week coming up. We got the next gen Xbox already being discussed. And I threw this one in there because I thought it'd be fun for Sean, since this is what you've been alluding to the whole time. And here comes was it Peter Moore who said that hey, you know what? Console wars actually not a bad thing. Interesting. Okay. Well, we got all of that and more. I do want to say we will actually have some Assassin's Creed Shadows coverage on the podcast. I guess that's around release, right? Because people already talked about the embargo timing and everything. Yeah, so the podcast after it comes out, like, we'll have a fair amount of time like invested in the game. So I'm playing it right now. OJ's playing it. Sean at least have played it by then, like by that podcast.
I mean, I get a copy, I think the 18th.
Yeah, so like the next podcast after the game comes out will be the 22nd.
Why don't you just get a copy early like everybody else?
That is my early copy.
I'll put you in contact with the right person.
They probably don't like me.
Well, you're in like the
I'm in the creators program.
There's another tier that I'm in the creators program too, but there's a whole other tier. And yeah, OJ knows. I'm sure somebody then who can
I can help you out a little bit, Sean.
Yeah,
because John doesn't fucking help anyone ever with anything.
I might have somebody. I can bug them.
Buddy. It's fine.
They've been pretty cool. They've been pretty cool. So they're getting Assassin's Creed out seemingly to a lot of people. A lot of people are announcing on Twitter that they're playing it right now. So it's there'll be a lot of coverage. I'll say around that time.
Can't say anything now, but I mean, like, I've never been interested in playing Assassin's Creed. Like, this was actually the first time that I felt like pursuing to actually play the game. So
sure, okay, yeah. So we got some time, but we'll circle back around when we're allowed to talk about it. So, and MVG, I'm sure when he's able to get to it, he'll be blowing through that game. He's a big Assassin's Creed fan. And we could talk about WWE 2K25 as well, Sean.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll move into that as well, just to kind of get those out of the way. The 2K25 is out, kind of early access. It fully releases on Friday. I did get the early access one. I wanted to start playing it, seeing what it was all about. Nate and I spent a lot of time in 2K24, mostly just the multiplayer stuff, to be honest, just kind of kicking around with that. And Sean, you basically check it. You check the wrestling game out every year, but not just this one, any other ones that come out. Smaller ones, like AEW's wrestling game, whatever.
Texture mods and shit like that as I'm playing.
Oh, yeah, you'll go back in time to the N64 game. And
they keep coming out with new ones. They came out with a new one this week, an ECW hack for WrestleMania 2000. It's great.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to make a video on the second channel.
How's 2K25 looking to you right now?
It's definitely 2K24.5, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You don't want to necessarily reinvent the wheel with it because, it was good as a game. There's lots of things I like about it, though. They've added in more characters. There's more match types now. I think some of the match types are a bit more fun than others, but it's always good to have more. You have more backstage areas. The menu system is a lot better. The stamina system seems to be a lot better. You can't just run around like a chicken with your head cut off.
I noticed that. You just start trying to hit somebody, you'll get tired real quick, and you won't be able to do much. You
get gassed real quick. The island can burn in hell. It is so fucking predatory.
I haven't fired that up yet.
It's so.
I haven't even tried it.
So, I did it just for the sake of my video, and a hairstyle is 9,000 virtual currency. Hair.
Wow.
Do you know how much I got for the first match I did in island mode? How much virtual currency I received?
Was it a couple hundred?
170.
Oh gosh.
9,000 for a hairstyle. I didn't even look at the clothing or anything like that. It's disgusting. I hate it, and it's lame. And the 90s Undertaker looks like shit. God almighty, did they
were posting pictures of that? It was a little weird.
Terrible.
I did play the showcase mode after you mentioned it, Sean. I went all the way. I went all the way through it. So I think there's 1 or 2 matches left. I mean, I'll tell you how many matches there are. It's less than last year's. There's less matches.
Really? See, yeah. I'm not. It seems like they kind of padded that out with the fucking, like Heyman, schmucking it, glazing it up, and then having the people talk about it. His performance is
actually pretty good, though. He actually did a good performance. Like he was selling it more than I thought you would. Like you feel like you go in and you're like, oh, it's for the game that people are gonna kind of buy anyway. Whatever, I'll just throw it up. He actually seemed to take it kind of seriously.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of I don't need Nia Jax in that. Like the Yokozuna one, that was fucking cool. Head shrinkers, that's fucking cool. High Chief Peter Maivia, even though it was in a weird arena, sure, that's pretty cool. Nia Jax, I do not care. I'm sorry.
There's a couple in there. There's one in particular. I don't know if you got to it yet. I think it's with Tamina and like the ladder match and stuff. That was really annoying because it gives you all those objectives. So it's like, do this, do this, do this. And sometimes it throws a timer at you. So now picture them going, okay, get outside of the ring. You got 30 seconds, beat this person up until the bar fills up while dodging like 4 other people who are coming at you. And then they want you to go win the match. Get up on the, so it's just chaos. And I had to do rematch like 4 or 5 times on that. It was really
I've had trouble with the Rocky Maivia Triple H one doing that timer because he just fucking reverses every time I try to. I think you have to do 2 heavy combos, and like the first one is fine, and then the second one he's like, no, I'm just gonna reverse everything. It's like, all right.
Occasionally,
thanks,
the computer just gets possessed and just starts reversing everything, and it's okay. So you can't do much then. You just gotta restart. Sometimes it kind of is like luck of the draw.
Yeah.
For some of that stuff. But otherwise, the showcase, I would say the showcase probably from start to finish, a little more than 2 hours maybe.
Which I mean, it's not terrible because they want you to do the other shit, the My Factions, the card shit, the My.
I started the My Rise as well. I started that up too.
I can't with those. It was fun back in the day. It was fun back in the day because they would use the actual wrestlers and it would be storylines involving them, and it made it more interesting. I don't want to play as some random ass fucking person in a wrestling game, much like I don't want to play as some random ass person in a basketball game. I'm playing the game to play as the people that I watch on television or that I grew up watching, But I understand some people. Yep.
I made a custom character going through it. You do unlock some things there too. And there were a few things I saw you will have to unlock in the island. And I'm like, man, I really don't feel like going to the island. But the online multiplayer is really bad for some reason. Like it's fun.
Was it ever
good? It keeps crashing. Like this is the most I've ever seen it crash. This is definitely more than last year. Like we played it a lot, and I do not remember a night where every single match crashed. That happened. That happened last night. Every single match crashed, and it got to the point where Nate was basically just laughing. I just turned my Xbox off. So I'm done with this. So they need to patch this thing, and it's weird because it's the people in early access that are dealing with it who technically would have spent more to
of course
early access.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, those are the ones that always get screwed over. Didn't you learn that with Star Wars Outlaws and every other game from a big company?
This one's pretty obscene though, so when it works, it's fun. It works well. Like somehow we launched a 6-man Hell in a Cell match online. It wasn't lagging, and it actually got probably 10 or 15 minutes in before it crashed. So
I heard you hit a woman online. Would you like to address that?
So that's the other thing about this game that's really interesting. Actually, it is intergender now. So you can have men and women fighting each other in the match. So I'm usually what I've done now is I pick Lita, and she's like ridiculous in the game. So I end up just beating up all the guys with Lita. And then vice versa. Technically, I technically kicked Rhea Ripley in the face with Sami Zayn.
Man, the truth
like
comes out.
three times. And then actually that's a match we won. Maybe that match. No, that was the night before. I think that one finished, but I don't think that was last night. But yeah, so it is kind of funny, and it actually changes things up a bit. So you can randomly go in and have like mixed tag matches and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. So it technically expands the roster of characters from last year. So in that sense, it's good. But in terms of functionality, it's bad. So they gotta put some patches out and do that quick, like real fast. Otherwise, though, Sean's right. It is WWE 2K24.5.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I mean, maybe next year they'll reinvent. I mean, because really they're just building off of, what was it, 2K20, whatever the one with Rey Mysterio was when they came back.
22?
Yes.
22.
And they've been building off of that, which, I mean, even in the golden era of wrestling games, you know what I'm saying? Like the N64 ones, that's what they were. Everything got bigger, more match types, more characters, bigger roster, more moves,
Next year should be the first time where they don't have the PS4 and the Xbox One version as well.
You'd hope so. You'd think so, but I'm not too sure about that.
Well, I mean, they don't have the island on the last gen ones, and I have to assume that means that they're 1 foot out the door. So you can only like strip away so many features before it's like, what's the point in doing this?
Mm-hmm. Never know.
Shout out to Chris VW with a super sticker. I do also want to recognize, I didn't get a chance to play this game yet. I'm going to, but it has not happened yet. And that is Split Fiction, because I think it's the highest rated game of the year right now, if I'm not mistaken. This is the first time we've seen EA get a game rated in the 90s in more than a decade. I think I saw a stat. I think it was like 13 years or something for this game. Joseph Ferris, Hazelight comes through again. This would be so they've kind of built up quite a bit. So I know people mentioned Brothers, but obviously A Way Out's the one where people think as like that co-op kind of setup. And then we had It Takes Two, that one game of the year, and now Split Fiction, which would be like their highest rated game of that bunch of co-op titles. And I mean, I've seen some gameplay for it. I've looked at some of the reviews. It looks good. It's just that situation of you need somebody else to play through. And apparently it's like somewhat of a long game, but when you think of co-op games like that, where you have to kind of sync up time with somebody else, apparently it's like 12 or 13 hours long. So like multiple play sessions of kind of like syncing up schedules for that. That said, apparently the gameplay, everything about it is like really good, like super unique and interesting. So I would like to play this at some point when I get a chance and get some time.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
Are you, I would say, Sean, you didn't seem to have any interest in this one. So
no, I like the guy, but I've never played any of his games.
Yeah, these are the kind of games, I know they do the online multiplayer stuff with the past. You can do cross-platform sport with it now. But these are the games that I feel like are much better in like couch co-op setup.
Yeah,
you know, kind of like right next to somebody.
Couch or someone that like, yeah, that you know is going to be there to be able to play like online if you're going to play online, you know. So yeah.
It feels like a game from like the 360 PS3 generation where couch co-op was still kind of a thing. You know, I mean, I know we're playing online a lot, but
barely a thing.
Yeah,
really. It was
true.
Still kind of barely a thing. I mean, there was definitely like couch co-op. Obviously, GameCube, Xbox, PS2, tons of couch co-op on those systems. But yeah.
Do they have it so like if you're playing solo, it does matchmaking for the game?
I don't
even know.
No, I don't think so. No, I think that's why he did the whole like the video he put out online was like, oh, we'll send you a person, like a Geek Squad person, if you don't have a friend. So that was kind of a joke. I don't think they have matchmaking unless someone in the chat can correct me. I don't think so. I think you have to have a person like ready to roll.
He almost let it slip that the Switch 2 version is going to be a launch title. So
I saw that.
So let's wait for that.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Here's the thing though, if you can get that on the Switch 2 and it has like single Joy-Con support, to where I mean I don't think it's gonna be as good as obviously a Pro Controller or anything like that, but kind of have that on the fly, that would actually be kind of cool for a game like that.
The game, from what I've read, the game runs incredible on Steam Deck. So
there we go. So
there's that.
You will need a partner to play with, but hey, if you got somebody, especially in-house, like they're right near you can play, that's probably the best experience.
Tell me you guys saw that clip of him reacting to people asking about like the whole feminist thingy. Did you guys see that clip?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that.
You can see the general confusion in his face. Like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, I think he seems like someone who's not as like plugged in online on social media as much and stuff, and he actually might have been like legitimately confused.
I think he looked confused. His face was like, because like whenever he gets, like you can tell like when he curses sometimes, but when he does curse, it's based off of something that's happening that he feels passionate about. So I don't think he's the type of person to do like fake type of personas and things like. I think that's him, who he is. So I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Nah, I mean the game's doing incredibly well too. It's like 230-something thousand concurrent players on Steam, right? Like over the past few days, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So that's
really good for that type of game.
Yeah, I mean I know technically, there's two people online at all times, right? That's the idea. So people are like, oh, you cut it. Even if you cut it in half, it's like 100-some-odd thousand concurrent players on Steam. That game's gonna do some numbers. Apparently they were mentioning that like It Takes Two sold 20-something million copies. A Way Out sold 11 million copies. So Hazelight is like they're not missing right now.
They're doing good. All of their games have sold pretty decently. Or I mean, It Takes Two. That game, the fact that it did so well. I mean, a lot of it was like there were crazy discounts and deals on that game. Where you can get it for like 10. But still, even with that, that's still very impressive that they're able to sell that amount. Most games don't, even if it does have big sales, so that's
and I would say just being able to get that many copies out the door even at cheaper prices kind of sets up Split Fiction to have a massive launch like we're seeing right now. Just people are familiar with the gameplay style, the studio.
And Split Fiction looks like way cooler than like It Takes Two.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
just like the general look of it is just like way more cool in terms of like the gameplay and stuff from what I've seen. I mean, I have It Takes Two. I've played it. Not necessarily like my cup. Like it's good. It's good, but it's just kind of like a little bit whatever for me. Yeah, Split Fiction is definitely more of what I'm looking forward to playing eventually.
They said they had quite a bit more in terms of budget for production and everything for this one. So it's
when you sell 20-something million, that's what happens.
Yeah. EA's funding everything over there right now. They're ready to roll.
Budget goes up with that.
Hey, good for Hazelight. Probably going to be I assume Game of the Year nominee. End of the year already, we thinking? Yeah.
They love that guy, man. Sometimes, like I tell people about Game of the Year, sometimes it's about the people who make the game too, and they like that guy a lot. So absolutely, I mean, they voted his game of the year. I mean, I guess 2021 wasn't as big of competition, but I mean, It Takes Two won Game of the Year, so yeah. So definitely this one
he'll fit right in at the Game Awards too. Jeff Keighley likes him, so he'll be there. He'll be there.
Yes, protect him at all costs. That's what Jeff Keighley said. That's what protect him at all costs. So.
Oh, Evan's here.
Yep.
What's up,
Evan, what's up? You didn't check out Split Fiction or anything, did you?
No.
Figured I'd check. Okay, still do it. Are you still on Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I mean, I can barely get another person to play Monster Hunter with me. Why would I get Split Fiction?
Oh, really? It's like that?
Whenever people ask me to play Monster Hunter Rise, I'm like, no. And I'm like, people say, hey, you want to play Monster Hunter Rise? I'm like, no, not really. When it was out.
Monster Hunter? You still got stuff
Hunter
going
rank
on
100.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Once in a while, a buddy of mine does pop around, but that's all he really wants to do right now.
So wait, if you took somebody who was like still kind of new in the game and just took them with you, would you be able to get them like awesome stuff from like these different monsters? Like
no, we'd have to. You can't get into some of the games or some of the lobbies I can get into until you get to a certain point. I think like Hunter rank 40.
Oh, okay. Evan's just cruising through Monster Hunter. Jeez, good stuff. Huh. Let's talk about this Tony Hawk Pro Skater business. This seemed to be exciting at first, and then it became very unfortunate for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 fans specifically. And Sean, you're not happy about this. I know.
Nope.
You mentioned this very, very quickly. There was also some confusion at first, right? So we weren't sure. It's coming out in July, but people weren't 100% sure because the wording on their website was kind of weird about it. They mentioned that it's being reimagined, I think is what they said, into 2-minute runs for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, which is more like it's like an open zone hub world kind of thing where you'll go around, you have the freedom to just skate around this area or this larger map, and you can find stuff. There's like secrets and things like that. You just kind of adventure around, and you go up to people, and then you'll start your 2-minute challenge, collect skate, get a certain high score or something. But the idea is you're not locked in from menu to 2 minutes back to menu. You just skate around. That was all. And that much different than 1, 2, and 3. However, here they're going to just adopt the format of 2-minute runs that they have in 1, 2, and 3 and just push that over to 4. Okay. That seemed to be a serious problem for people online because there are like people are like, oh, I'm not buying it now, like immediately when they saw that. But technically that would erase the more unique career mode that they put out for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 back then.
So I went ahead because some jackass on this panel tried to make it like it wasn't a big deal. Oh, nobody liked Tony Hawk 4. Nobody liked the open section stuff. And I went ahead and I fired up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. And you know what? I love the open sections. There's money to find. It's interesting. You get a layout of the level. Some of those things. Okay, so like the one thing where the rollerblader and the first level is like, oh, you got to, do this faster than I do it. How are you going to do that in the middle of a game unless they remove that thing because you're losing? And that's the only time you start out in the luge, right? And you go through all the checkpoints and stuff. So is that going to be removed? The car part? Are they going to remove the car part where the kids steal the car? So you're removing content in an enhanced version of a game? Fuck off. No.
Yeah, I'm a little confused how they're going to do this because there's a few things. One, the maps I think are a little too big as they are now in 4 to work in like a 2-minute run. That's the idea of like Tony Hawk Pro Skater is the maps are small enough to where you could go from end to end and have plenty of time in 2 minutes.
Right.
I don't know how well that would work out with the larger layout in 4.
They're going to have to change like locations of the letters for skate and stuff like that. Like that. Why? What is the point? How is this making the game better? It's not.
I think that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, that's interesting that they wouldn't just do what they did with 4 and just move it over and call it a day. Although I can't really say they're just moving it over because it's a remake, quote unquote. So they like you play 1 and 2, they just mash the two of them together. So when you mash 3 and 4 together, this was brought up as well. They got to pick one or the other. Which one are they going to go with? And let's face it, they used Iron Galaxy to make this, not Vicarious Visions. So they probably thought, how do we make this a bit cheaper or not spend as much money because we're kind of outsourcing this mostly to Iron Galaxy. So I think it's more of that, more of a cost time scope thing.
I can tell you right now, Ollie the Bum will not be in Tony Hawk 4 because Kotaku would see that and fucking shit a brick and everyone would they'd have to come out with the apology and then update the game. So no, Ollie won't be in it. But, you know, I saw someone in the chat say that the car part is in, which that still doesn't make any sense. They said it was in the trailer.
They showed it in the trailer, yeah.
How? That mission itself, you have to sketch. You're not going to be able to do that. Get all the letters. Get to even, like, the area. Like, no, bro, something's up with this. Something is weird with this, and I don't like it.
It might be an option, because if it's just open skate, you might be able to pick ways you want to get into maps.
They have they said free skate's still in, but the idea is
like
you
2
go through
minutes
these
or something.
Well, you go through these 2 minutes. They have like free skate where apparently it's just open, but like they're gonna have to change some of the maps to work within 2 minutes. Like unless you're going to really have to do 2 minutes and that's just one goal really you're doing. That would be weird because then you're just going back to the menu over and over again. So they're putting in there's like new parks and stuff they're doing too. So it's a lot's changed. I feel like with this 3 and 4. So 3 people look at that like, yeah, okay, it's 2 minutes. That's fine. And my thing is
what it was designed for.
Whenever I thought back on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 through 4 was always the one that people talked about the least.
That's like because you had lame friends. See, my friends who were skateboarders, we loved 4. 3 was okay, but the thing behind 3 was that it made the jump to the PS2. So you had these fancy graphics. So it's like, oh shit, look at this game. This looks so awesome.
You had 60 frames also.
Okay.
That was new.
That's also graphics related. But at the end of the day, it was still the same exact formula, which kind of was getting a little bit tiring. Like, okay, well, you know, it would be nice to just kind of, you know, be able to skate around and do these sort of things. And then when 4 dropped, it was like, whoa, this is so cool. This is so unique that you now have these open zones where you can just skate and explore and you could pick up a mission when you want to. It made the game feel bigger than it actually was.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons is also that when they look back on it, when they think of like the open world kind of style, I feel like most people just go to Underground immediately. Like they don't even think of 4, they go Underground. Oh yeah, obviously that's the one.
But you couldn't go to Underground when Underground wasn't out yet at the time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I mean like right now where people look back on it, I feel like the reason I don't ever hear much about 4 being mentioned is because they mention Underground instead. They go, because Underground.
Because Underground did it better. I mean, if you're talking about Grand Theft Auto in 2025, are we talking about 2 or 3? No, we're talking about 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? That's just a time perception sort of thing. Plus, they're removing characters. You know, they're adding.
They're definitely going to remove.
They're adding in Doom Guy for $30. Like,
well, they're not going to put Darth Maul's not going to be in there. Like,
why? Get the
Disney, you know that kind of check Disney's probably looking for. Although Doomslayer was in the PC version of Tony Hawk Pro Skater, to my understanding, that I'm sure a lot of people played. Yeah, that was
thank you, Steven. At least Steven has some common sense. Yeah, no BAM.
Oh, that's the big one. So here's my question: if Bam's not in like this at all, how do they do underground then?
They don't.
Yeah, that's my thought. Is like, unless they have somebody who's like kind of Bam but not named Bam, who's like the other protagonist.
Me? They're gonna put me in the game?
Yeah, this is Sean. Well, it'd be like, it's not Bam, it's Sam. If Sam is the other person.
Like, I don't know. I mean, it's nice. I mean, at the end of the day, it is nice that a new generation will be able to check it out. But my excitement has indeed kind of dwindled for it. I'll probably like to play 3 so I could hear the AFI song, The Boy Who Stole the World. Good memories of that. But for 4, I really don't.
Too.
Yeah, Blitzkrieg Bob. It's a common punk song, John. For 4, I'm gonna stick with the OG and just up-res the fuck out of it.
Okay, that's fair. I'm actually just now interested to see how much they really change at this point. That's one of the reasons I want to get it. Let's see how much they change it. And they also have they're gonna have the deck. You gonna get the deck, the whole thing?
No. I got the 1 and 2 one. I think I still have it too, but no, I'm not doing it for this one. No, thank you.
What do you think, OJ? We picking this up?
I haven't decided when I'm gonna cancel my pre-order. I got the special edition pre-order. I kind of just want the deck, though, to be honest.
The deck. Hey.
Like, I don't have as much nostalgia for 3 and 4. I did play 3. I remember playing 3 a lot, or kind of a lot, but I did not play it like I did 2. So I don't have the nostalgia for it. But I kind of want the deck. That's really just... They did increase the price by $30 for the special edition this time. It was $100 last time.
Yeah, that's why I bought it.
Yeah, but yeah, now it's $130. So I'm still thinking about it. I got it pre-ordered at Amazon, so they don't charge your card till they ship it. So I might keep it, I might not. Depends. I gotta look at that deck thoroughly, but I kind of just want it because it's just like a novel thing. It's like, who gives you a freaking skateboard like a deck? I mean, imagine if it was like a full skateboard. That'd even be. I mean, obviously it wouldn't be that price, but man. Anyway, I just like the deck. So maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But yeah, it sucks in terms of the whole situation with the single player. That sucks, man. Like, it is what it is, though.
Did you get some wheels on that, Sean? Skated around?
Sam Margarita.
No. I have a board that's set up to skate on if I want to go skate.
Oh, okay.
But not that one. That's a novelty.
Yeah,
it is a full skatable deck. He's saying it doesn't have trucks and wheels and shit on it. I mean,
it's just a deck. It's not everything. Yeah, it's not.
You could throw some grip tape on there if you want to, but
I mean,
is there no grip tape?
You could throw it down on the top of a hill and see how far you get, I guess.
Hey, I mean, I'm picking it up. Obviously, my thing though is if they're not going this route with 4, and they got to use Iron Galaxy to do it, and now Iron Galaxy is going through it, and they have all kinds of layoffs and stuff.
This is it. This is as far as we're going. Enjoy it while you can.
It seems wrong to leave 4 out like that, where you don't do the open zone concept that then led to Underground without doing Underground. Like, you leave 4 like this because you're doing Underground.
4. No. They're changing 4. They're changing 4 to make it like 3. Realistically, they should have just done 1, 2, and 3 all in one shot.
That'd been cool because they did. They already brought the revert into 1 and 2. It's like,
right.
You tack 3 on, you're good to go. But that's, you got to, if they're not even going to do Underground, then do a new Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Then just go right to 6 and.
I think they're going to do Underground. They'll probably do Underground 1 and 2.
I feel like there's legit money to be made with Underground. I feel like that is like one of those popular like titles in the Tony Hawk franchise. Underground.
They'll jump the special edition up to 150 for that one.
Oh yeah,
you can sell some deck designs as friggin' microtransactions. It'll be great.
I don't know. This is Microsoft says they want to continue the Tony Hawk franchise. Apparently, this is a big thing for them. So big enough for them to turn 4 into 3.
Yeah.
Well, out in July, there's a demo. There's a demo a month before in June.
But don't you have to pre-order the game to get the demo?
You do. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to get that demo. Let's see what I can do.
You got to pre-order digitally to get the demo?
Probably, yeah. I assume, unless the retailer. Remember back in the day, the retailer, if you pre-ordered, they would print it out on the receipt or something.
Yep, and give you for it. Not anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how that works anymore.
Nope.
Yeah. Otherwise, now it's probably just digital. Just get it. Although I think you need online connection for something because it's on the front of the box. Games.
Remember the demo disc that we used to get for like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1?
Oh yeah,
ever play the demo for that.
The warehouse. Yeah, you do the warehouse.
Yeah,
oh yeah, you did that constantly. It was on.
Oh
I feel like that was a Pizza Hut demo disc.
I forgot what. I know my friend Turtle had it, so I used to play it at his house all the time.
Oh yeah, the warehouse was it. We just constantly played that. And I remember with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, they had the Matt Hoffman Pro BMX demo on it.
The Condor.
Yeah. So we would just play that as like one run through. What was it? Just like a little skate park kind of thing. I don't know. That was kind of fun to get those random demos that were kind of hidden. Okay, it was Okay, there it is. Thank you, William. There's the green demo disc from Pizza Hut. I knew it was a Pizza Hut demo disc on the PS1.
I didn't know we got it from. I don't remember it was from Pizza. I just remember it was just he had it, and we would just play it like constantly.
Well, they might have had. Yeah, it says that there's a PlayStation demo disc that was different for PlayStation Underground.
Oh,
okay.
That also had the warehouse level.
Mm.
It had Spider-Man, Medieval 2, Crash Bash on it, Spermo.
See,
a lot of good demo discs back in the day.
People in the chat,
would be in the magazines.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You would just take them out of the magazines.
I knew that's what you would do, Sean.
Bro, my parents weren't buying me a fucking magazine. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I know.
Taking that disc out.
Anytime that I saw it, it was already gone. So I couldn't even if I wanted to, it was already gone. It was you, Sean.
Hey, people in the chat, let me know if you like the. I pitched this idea for like a series where some of us randomly pick a demo disc on the PS1 and just to see what's on there, because I found I will say a bunch of ISOs for all the demo discs, and they're all numbered. I don't know what's on them. It just says it's like numbered 1 through like 40 something. Don't know what's on any of them. And like really roll and just pick a random number and see what we get.
One with Parappa on there. That one was awesome. That demo disc.
Yeah, I don't know what number it is. That's what I mean. I feel like you'll pick a random number and something cool will be on there.
It had like Parappa, it had like Jet Moto. I don't know if it was 1 or 2, but it just had like a bunch of cool games.
Yeah, PlayStation demo disc.
Oh, Funhouse already did that. Okay, how about this? Okay. We'll up the ante. I got Xbox demo disc. I got PlayStation demo disc. I have Dreamcast demo disc. I have GameCube demo disc. We'll roll for which system, then we'll roll which demo disc number. See, look at that.
That'd be cool.
Wow, there was one for Tony Hawk Pro Skater Dreamcast demo CD. YouTube.com/Dream. I never knew that. That's kind of cool.
Did Sega Saturn? Shadowfox says Sega Saturn demo disc.
I mean,
bro, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody with the Sega Saturn. I'll keep it a buck. So even if you took it, I didn't know anybody with one. Saturn. I didn't know anybody with the Sega Saturn. I had to play whenever I wanted to play Sega Saturn. I had to go to the mom and pop shop place to go to try to see if I can play. But even then, like I didn't want to spend my money on a Sega Saturn, so I'd spend my money on playing
the
PS1 instead or something else.
When you bought the first round of Sega Saturns, it came with something that was called the bootleg sampler. That had like I want to say it was Daytona, Panzer. It's maybe Virtua Fighter 1 on there, and then they did like weird stuff like Christmas Nights, which was like technically like you didn't pay for it. It was just a demo disc of sorts. They also had another one with like a dude with like I don't remember what it's called, but it was like a dude with goggles and he's like screaming on the front of it. It's weird.
Yeah, I had not realized there were even like Saturn demo discs like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That might be fun. I don't know. We'll see. I figured the PS1 demo disc is the easy thing to start with, but we'll see. We'll see if we got to go the extra mile with it. I do want to point out that the Switch turned 8 years old this week. 8 years. Came out March 3rd, 2017. It is now March 8th, 2025.
Can I ask Sean a random question? Sean,
yeah, I don't go fuck.
So there's you lived in the Carolinas, right? Or you know about the Carolinas?
Yeah, I lived there for 20 years.
Yeah. So now this might be a little bit morbid, but they can kill people by firing squad there. Execution by firing squad. I just saw that. So did you take part in any of this? Did you know about anybody that had a firing squad death?
No. I mean, like the only person I only knew 2 people that had life sentences. And one of them ended himself. I don't know what you could say on YouTube, and the other one is just serving their life sentence. But I don't think
shorts
either
are to be believed. The term is unalived.
Unalive. I don't think. Maybe the guy who unalived himself because there was 2 people and he like burned the house down. Maybe he would have been qualified for that. The other one was just an one person situation. But no, I mean, I don't recall like that ever like being talked about or anything like that.
Yeah, because I didn't know that was still a thing, but apparently it's somebody. It happened to somebody.
Really?
Yeah, I'll put the link in the private chat for you guys. It's on Twitter, so you can see it on Twitter, or X.
Watch someone get firing squatted on.
Well, no, you can't see it. The guys, no, you can't see it.
Just putting snuff on Twitter. All right.
They go over the details of the guy that was executed by firing squad in South Carolina recently, like Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. So yesterday. Sorry to derail. I'm just saying. I just saw this and it was just. Well, I had to ask Sean about this because I know he's from he lived in the Carolinas.
Is it North Carolina? Because I was in North Carolina.
South.
Okay. Well, see, I lived in North Carolina.
Oh,
the only
okay.
time I go to South Carolina was to go to Myrtle Beach.
Oh, but you've been in South, like you know that South Carolina.
Oh,
okay,
sure.
Yeah. That's why I had to. Sorry, I had to ask because like I've never heard about this before.
So I wonder because there's a theme park called Carowinds that's literally on the North and South Carolina border, and when you're in the park, like you'll walk into parts of South Carolina. So like if you do a crime there in the South Carolina part of the park, are you then eligible for firing squad?
Just a quick little crime.
Yeah, he chose the firing squad. It was going to be lethal injection, but he opted for firing squad.
Okay.
So
wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So the Switch now 8 years old.
That's the next thing that needs to be put on the firing squad.
Nintendo's putting it on the firing squad next, though.
I mean, that also means in 8 years. So 8 years for like, let's see, what would that be for the PS4 to PS5? That'd be 2021. Yeah, it'd been 2020. So it'd been a year after the PS5 had already been out. And that's where we'd be now with the Switch, which at least I guess the Switch 2 stuff's coming up in. It's still like 4 weeks away. It feels like it's been a while since they announced that. Jeez.
Not really.
No, it doesn't. It feels like it's been a minute.
I mean, if you're sitting there watching the clock, like maybe
January 16th. I thought the time would go by pretty quickly. I feel the time is going by. I feel like the time is going by quickly, but that's just me. We're less than a month. We're only a few weeks away.
Nintendo's definitely a virus. Well, I could see that actually. They were allowed. If they could have it their way, yes. 8 years though. I don't know. It's
this NES ROM. Line up against the wall, fucko.
It is weird to think that
Wii zappers out there loaded 12
real Wii zappers.
They just want to case this the past week it was reported they want a case against a hosting site or just a hosting service, so they can't have their Switch games or anything hosted there anymore. Yeah, but it's 8 years. Think about that. It's been 2017. That feels like an eternity ago at this point. That was like the beginning days of YouTube for me, kind of for Sean.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Early days.
OJ's been around for a while.
I'm old. But but in terms of actually, no, there's no way to, I can't, no.
He was a little more furious during that time.
No, I had a channel even before that was just Player Essence.
Oh, wow.
Wait, or was there? Yeah, there was. It was just Player Essence, yeah. And then I did a separate channel, and then that channel turned into the channel that I have now. But yeah, third time's a charm. It's okay.
I mean, it's still going to be a long generation for the system. It's going to go on 10 years easy, but 8 years. I saw it pop up. I was like, wow, that's I didn't go back and look at any of the older videos, but I thought about it. I was like, man, it's been that long since the Switch came out.
It's
Finally
so
now
long
getting the
that
Switch
you
2.
couldn't show first party gameplay.
Oh, I even forgot about that just until just now.
You had to edit it. You had to
10
make
seconds.
Sure
You got 10 seconds.
Sometimes
or if you used a little box for it, sometimes you'd get a little bit longer.
Yeah, or you'd have to do that. Yeah, trailers were off limits. It wasn't until I think 2018 or 2019. I think it was until they finally just said, "All right, like not that stupid creator program that they had for whatever that sharing thing that was not good." But so they just finally said, "All right, y'all can just use whatever," which was great. But yeah, man, it's been a while. I started covering Nintendo at first in the Wii era, at the very end of the Wii era. I think I started covering it around then. So heading into it now at this point, how long it took, because I came in at the end of the Wii era. Wii U era was really quick, all things considered. Yeah. Like it was pretty quick. It was here and gone pretty quick.
You're talking about basically the Switch in 2015 when they mentioned the NX, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it in 2015. So like it's really like a decade, like legit a decade of us talking about this system and not having another system that that's the successor. Yeah. So
there wasn't like a handheld really running alongside of it. I mean, the 3DS was around for a little bit, but eventually that faded off. We don't have that second system that's like in parallel to it anymore. Yeah, so it is like just this one.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. The coolest thing, or one of the coolest things about the Switch era for me at least, was the fact that it seemed like every single year, with the exception, I guess 2020 was a little bit off because of COVID and everything, but it seemed like every year, while it was like ups and downs, but it was exciting to talk about whatever. It was like the most exciting era out of all the eras that I covered. It was one of the most exciting ones to cover overall, because Nintendo always had their directs. Even if there was some things that was bad, there was always something that kind of came back a little bit later. So it was a fun era to cover as a content creator compared to the Wii U era, for me at least, or even compared to the Wii era, which I covered the Wii era a little bit. Like 2010, I was covering the Wii, so Wii U didn't come out till 2012. So I covered the Wii era for about 2 years, and it was way more fun than even that. All I was doing back then was crying and whining for Xenoblade, like. What was it? Operation Rainfall. That's all we did at that point, was crying and whining, like, why aren't you localizing everything? So that sucked. So yeah, this was definitely the funnest era to cover for Nintendo wise, overall, for me at least.
Yeah, I'm looking to see that kind of come back, that feeling of excitement and stuff after the Switch 2 presentation April 2nd. So I mean, they've just been a little quiet. It's been quieter. Recently, obviously, as we're waiting. So
it's not the same, man, because it's not like Microsoft and Sony ain't doing like some cool stuff. Don't get me wrong, like they're doing cool things, but the way that they do their presentations, like Sony hasn't even done, like they don't got any first party. Like that's what makes it hype. Like there's no first party for it to be hype. They're announcing like, oh, Tides of Annihilation. Okay, great. It's a multi-platform game. Microsoft just comes up and says it's on our system too. Now, once again, still cool, but it completely guts what those directs were about. The directs were about the cool announcements that were the exclusives or whatever. That's what a direct is cool for, and nobody's really doing that. Like Sony, I don't remember the last time they had a showcase. They barely do showcases. There's no big first party. Like they don't have a lot of first party games, so it just makes it kind of boring to cover at times. Not that there's not good games. There's plenty of good games to play, but it just makes it a little bit boring. So it's cool now that we finally have something like because Nintendo's going to bring exclusive games. They're going to bring directs, and they're going to be structured the way that people like them, in terms of things. So once again, doesn't mean that, Microsoft and Sony are doing it like their presentations are bad. They're good if you like it, but it's just it just lacks a little bit of that, that extra flair, that what people like about the directs in the first place, why they even got popular,
Almost like it's been a little bit boring, some would say.
Sean, I saw your vid. I talked about it on my stream, and there were some things. Yeah, I agree for sure. It's been a little. I mean, there's good games, but it's just not as like. It's just a little. It's just like a little boring to cover as a creator. Not that there isn't stuff to play. We all got walls of games to play. Like it's just not as fun right now to cover things.
Well, that also parlays into another topic.
Oh yeah, you know what, Sean? I'm gonna bring that up now because Sean. I saw this and I kind of laughed to myself because this sounded like Sean just had taken the form of Peter Moore in an interview.
No, it's because I'm right and people don't want to fucking admit it because it's me, which, I mean, I understand that, but still.
This was over on Gamertag Radio with Danny and Paris and Peter Moore. And they were talking about mostly just all things in gaming right now, but of course Xbox came up, just asking about what he thinks so far and what their strategy is right now. And he brought up the fact that the Activision Blizzard acquisition changed pretty much everything for Microsoft at this point. But he did go on to say that the console wars at that time, and I mean, we all know back then, think of like the 360 PS3 days, like even the early years there. It was pretty crazy. And that was even before social media really took over. And there was like that time period midway through PS3 and 360 where it was just like mayhem online back and forth. And he says that not only did he encourage the battle of PlayStation versus Xbox, he thought the console war was healthy, but it's lost its feistiness now.
Because people don't realize the main thing that's changed is that what he's talking about is when the companies themselves were console warring, competition between the two. I'm not talking about some 55-year-old dork on Twitter. I love PlayStation. I love the PlayStation. I love Xbox. I love X. No. That's what console wars have become because they are over. But what I remember is when the companies didn't want to work together. They didn't like each other. They wanted to one-up each other, and that created
the Crash
innovation.
Bandicoot ads.
Yes, that created Sega does what Nintendo. It created innovation. It created companies had a reason. They didn't want to be complacent. They wanted to move the medium forward. They wanted to be better than the other people. And now with this whole kumbaya situation, it's a different beast. And if you weren't around for it, I don't think you'll fully ever understand it, which is fine. But I mean, he's 100% right. Competition breeds creativity. Competition brings out the best in everyone. If you don't have any competition, you become complacent, and no matter what the field is.
Yeah, I mean, I do like seeing the companies kind of go at it and like fight back and forth when it does end up becoming just better products in general. Like I'm trying to think of something outside of gaming. I guess remember the Pepsi challenge where they would basically dunk all over Coca-Cola by basically having people choose Pepsi over Coke with blind taste tests. I don't really see that anymore. I don't know what happened to that. That's just like they stopped doing it. I don't know if just
fucking bitch was probably, this is bullying. You're being mean to the other company.
I think they try to refocus it on what they feel they need to push forward, right? The message that they need to push forward with their product. So they're just kind of refocusing it. You can still have that competition. You can still, I mean, in the board meetings, they're saying we're selling this and that when it comes to like Coke versus Pepsi or whatever the case is. They're definitely looking at what the other people are selling, like Taco Bell and all that. They're definitely looking. But yeah, I mean, like to Sean's point, man, and to what John said, like, I mean, it's tough because to me, like, you should be trying to beat out what you did before. Like, yes, the sales, that's a thing, like the competition, but you should be like, oh, well, we sold 160 million PS2s. We want to reach that number. Or, oh, we sold 150 million Switches. We should beat that number. And the only way to do that is to get better. So you should definitely have that intrinsic, fight in you. When I played sports, pretty sure, like, when you guys played too, sometimes you might not have had somebody that was better than you on your team or whatever, but you still had to try to go hard so you can get better yourself. Like,
No, that's what I did. Trash, bro. I was bottom of the barrel. I didn't want to play. My dad would make me play.
Oh, okay. I wasn't like an incredible running back, but I was the best on my team from even when I was a sophomore. So I had to just try to bring up, okay, well, I got to do better no matter what. Even if these guys can't push me, I'm still going to do better. So I think they have to have that same mindset. Like, hey, if we don't provide, like the best, then we're going to have lower sales. We're not going to be as good. And that intrinsic motivation needs to be a thing for a publicly traded company. But I agree with Sean on what you had to say, man. It was kind of fun to see them kind of going at it, the E3s and stuff like that. It was fun. It was fun. But man, like they really, I hope they're not slacking because they don't have. I hope Sony isn't. I think I hope that's not the case. But hopefully they have that motivation because they are publicly traded. They gotta sell. Like they gotta sell. They gotta make more money. So you gotta provide in order to do that. But I guess some people say that Sony's not really trying as much because Microsoft is not in the game anymore, quote unquote. So I mean, I don't know. I think they just messed up with the live service thing, to be honest.
I mean, I do think if Microsoft was like talking some smack on them and selling a bunch of systems and it looked like the 360 era again, Sony would all of a sudden be like, hold on, there's a showcase, we're doing all these games. All kinds of stuff. I kind of feel like if you lit a fire under them, it would they'd get moving. They might announce games way too early, but I think they would at least they'd get moving a bit more. Yeah.
No, you're right about that. No, that's absolutely. I can't sit here and say that that's not correct. Like they wouldn't be doing more than what they're doing. Absolutely.
That would require Xbox to be dunking on them, which.
Well, yeah, exactly. Why was the Xbox 360 generation considered to be like, one of the last golden ones? Because Xbox was out there selling units. They were the default system, not PlayStation. And then PlayStation came out fucking farting with the PS3, and like it wasn't selling. It was a bitch to develop for, so they had to get on their ass and do it. And then with the PS4 and the Xbox One, Xbox never got out of first gear. PlayStation still, did their thing, and it was a really good system. But now you're seeing the result of that. You're seeing the result of, well, we don't really have to worry about Xbox because people aren't buying an Xbox. They're buying our console instead as the default console. And Xbox is just, doing their own thing, whether it works in the long run or not. I'm not Colt Eastwood. You would have to ask him. I'm not Kid Smooth. You would have to ask him. But from my vantage point, it's a very interesting choice.
I also think about that PS3
Hold
generation.
the line! Sorry.
That PS3 generation you mentioned there. Think about when the system first came out at the end of 2006 and then go all the way to 2010, that holiday. They had cut the price of the PS3 in half from 600 to 300. They had doubled the hard drive. They shrunk the system down. They got rid of the glossy black plastic that was annoying, but like they shrunk it down and they just made it a better system rapidly to try to compete more.
Wait, it wasn't a better system, but they did make it cheaper.
It broke less. I mean, technically, in terms of it functioning, like it actually working, I'd say it was better in terms of efficiency and not yellow lighting. Or
okay, but the beginning PS3s were lit. The fat those were
almost on fire with those steel freaking power supplies in there.
I still have mine. I still
have mine. It worked. I mean, it's got backwards compatibility for PS1, PS2. It's got all those memory ports. It's got all sorts of stuff on there. And yeah, you're right. The yellow light is still a thing. I get that. But
so is Red Ring of Death.
That's true. So is Red Ring of Death.
That was a bigger thing, honestly.
That was like 80% with a 60% refill rate.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I had two Xbox 360s that Red Ring before I got like the Falcon chip one or whatever that didn't Red Ring. So.
Yeah, we got the Slim eventually. But the point is that Sony realized they had to cut the price and they had to do it quickly and aggressively.
Yeah. No, you're
When was
right
the last time
that.
the PS5 got a price cut? Yeah. So
price increase, pal. Kids these days don't know that when consoles came out, like a year later, they were cheaper. It's crazy.
That's never gonna happen again, man.
No, it'll never happen.
That's never gonna. Not in today's economy.
Occasionally, I'll see like like the circular ads pop up. People like to take the scans, put them up on Twitter. It's like this is what it was like in 2003 or 2004. And like there's the original Xbox, there's the PS2, and it was like $150 and $170.
Dude, like the GameCube was like $50 at one point, or like it was like 150.
The one they had there was $100. Yeah, it was $100.
That's when I got mine.
Didn't the Dreamcast hit 20 as it was dying? It was just like $20.
They just made it $50, and then the games were $10 each or something.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
I was broke as hell. I couldn't buy anything. I was so pissed.
That would have been amazing. You go back in time and just start picking up Dreamcast brand new in the box.
Just put it all in a storage facility.
Well, I remember seeing fucking Jaguars at KB Toys for $20 brand new when they were liquidating those, and I wanted one so bad. I didn't give a fuck. My mom wouldn't buy me one though.
We didn't even have the money for that back then. And $20, there's a lot of different ways you could make $20 in today's day that you could not make back then, bro. Like we did not have the options to make money. That like how people got options to make money in today's day.
Yeah, that was a different time. It is weird to think though that you're right, Sean. The new generation now has no idea that game systems used to fall in price.
Yeah, substantially.
That's the weirdest thing.
They just weren't around. They didn't know about it. They just got to hear about it from old people like us. Hey, by the way, there was no free to play games. You got to like buy stuff, you know? Like some
or
kids
steal the
all
demo
they do
discs.
Or steal the
or just rob from a store. I mean, just go for it. Just walk in, take the disc, and walk out.
I mean, you know, things
free to
happen,
play,
man.
baby.
Things
Shout me, Jay.
Shout out to Tales of Symphonia.
I was about to say that game was free to play.
Or the popular collar crime ring that we did, where we would buy from one store because Kmart was going out of business, and we would buy the games from Kmart and see where, because they were liquidating all the games for like, you know, $5-10, and then we'd see if Sam Goody or Walmart was selling them for higher, and then we would say, oh yeah, we got this as a gift, you know. So you'd bring that $10 game to Walmart, they'd give you $60 store credit, and then you would get a game. We did that for a very long time until they stopped allowing us to, because they like flagged our licenses.
No, yeah.
So we had to get a bunch of other people involved, and like, you know, like women.
Man, ran a whole ring,
crime ring. That's what we
ran a whole crime ring, bro.
You could even do that within GameStop. My buddy of mine forever ago found out that GameStop had some weird barcode thing where they would give you a guaranteed trade-in on some games that even they would sell for like $3 less than they would give you.
Yeah.
So he just did that for a day. He handed it in and bought it from him, then handed it back in for a trade-in and kept doing it till he got a PSP.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
then they told him he shouldn't do it anymore.
Like all the stores were like a half mile from each other, so it was easy to do, man. We had like one person at the Kmart be like, all right, this game is, you know, whatever the game was, this game is $60 at Sam Goody. How much is it there? Oh, it's $10. All right, buy 3 of those. And then, you know,
sophisticated.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a whole operation, bro. I was too lazy to do anything like that.
Bro, like Zach Carmichael said, Walmart in the 2000s was crazy. They'd
return anything.
I had a portable DVD player, and that portable DVD player would do the DVDs because I had TVs in my car. So everything would come out of that portable DVD player. I let a friend borrow it on a beach trip, and he gave it back to me, and of course it was broke. And I was pissed off because I didn't have any money to fucking, you know, but he gave me drugs at the time, so I didn't really care that much. But like when I got it back, like I was messing with it in the car, and my dad came out. He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Man, the portable DVD player isn't working anymore." He's like, "Where'd you buy it from?" I was like, "Well, Walmart." He was like, "How long ago was it?" I was like, "Man, it was a very long time ago." He was like, "Let me see what I could do." It had literally been like 2 years since I bought that thing. No box, no receipt, no nothing. That motherfucker went to Walmart, came home with a brand new one. He was like, "Yep, I just brought it in there, and I just stood around and complained about it."
Most of their employees, most of their employees are subsidized. They don't give a shit.
Sean's brain glitched for a second. He gave me drugs. A little bit of a glitch there.
I mean, shout out, R.I.P. Marco. He passed away.
Oh, shout outs to Marco.
Good man. Good man.
Well, let's do some super chats. This is from, let me see. Okay, there's Corey McIntyre. Here we go. Nick93 says, Lakers own the Knicks RGT. Brunson.
I was talking because we were doing Analog Allies while that game was on. And I was like, I wish that motherfucker Nick93 was in here because I'd be talking so, because they were up 10 in the fourth quarter. I'm like, great, easy peasy. And then no, fuck everything.
Let's see. Casual Noob Gamer says, last week you didn't read my question from Patreon about RGT. I think I sent you that message.
I read all the messages.
Here it is. This is still no Casual Noob. No, that's not them. I will let me check Casual Noob Gamer unless I missed the cutoff for that. I think I did. I will check. Let's see. Jesse says, okay, Knicks are trash.
Fuck you, Jesse.
It's good that we're getting money for your bad choices, RGT.
Jake Crushwell says, RGT and WWE 2K games like Stockholm Syndrome keeps coming back knowing it won't get better. Kind of does it for NBA as well, though.
But, I mean, I think WWE 2K25 is better than NBA 2K25 is.
Okay. DC Fact, if you just want to drop the question you had for Sean in there about Xenoblade, was it Xenoblade Chronicles X?
Casual, it was Casual Noob, not DC Fact.
Casual Noob Gamer. Sorry, there you go. I was reading through here. Casual Noob Gamer, if you want to drop the question in there, I didn't see it over on the other page either. Keep an eye out for it. Necro Banana says, GTA 6 comes out before the Game Awards cut off. It's going to be a nuclear bomb versus coughing baby scenario for all other games this year. Pickle says, love all the content from RGT Spawnwave and the Analog Allies. Is that what you call
allies?
Anal allies. That's his anal. No, you know how I came up with that name? I put in to
ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT or Grok. Give me a podcast name, and it gave me like 150 of them, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds kind of nice." I didn't even really think about it.
I can't wait for the podcast that has called itself Analog Allies for 10 years comes out of the woodwork. And like,
I looked.
Kind of reminds me of like Easy Allies. So it's like Analog Allies, Easy Allies.
I don't know what that is.
It's the former GT.com guy, or
the trailer,
game trailers guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Casey says, good to see OJ. Excited for the Switch 2 mouse function.
You can click on stuff.
Wouldn't say excited, but I mean interested to see how it plays out.
Intrigued.
Intrigued. Yeah, that's a good word. Intrigued.
You'll be able to select things in their storefront.
What did you do to Super Christian Me World, Evan?
What? I don't know.
Is that right in the guts? What happened?
Shady Saturday.
What did you do?
I don't know. In the guts. I don't know what that means. That sounds weird.
I mean, unless this is the person I just shellacked playing Warhammer earlier. I don't know.
Gaming says, how likely do you think there will be a port of Smash Ultimate with more characters for the Switch 2?
Unlikely. Unlikely. Because
they got to reboot that whole thing to annoy the Smash community.
The reason why it's unlikely is because Smash Brothers usually doesn't get ports. They usually just make a new game.
They use a lot of different characters across multiple IPs, and if they don't have contract for new platforms, it doesn't work. They're not going to do it.
They'd have to relicense all of that, and on top of that,
that'll be expensive as shit.
Smash Ultimate already sold like a bazillion copies. Like it already sold 30 something
backwards compatible, so
and it's backwards compatible. So it just doesn't seem like they're going to do that. That doesn't seem like to be the option.
Yeah, it's looking like because I was Hunter rank 100, so there was.
Oh.
It's not even that high. I ran into someone who was like 285.
Whoa, jeez.
Yeah, just zero lifing that game.
That sounds like it.
Steven says, if we don't get a true THPS4 career mode, we'll crush my soul. I absolutely love the NPC interactions in that game. I need that drunk NPC calling me senator while I collect pink elephants.
Yep, that's the first level.
Steven says THPS4 was legendary and deserves a true remake. Quest for Glory Gamer. I put it in there. Thank you, Quest for Glory, for reminding me. I did put it down there though. I put the Streamlabs link down there. Thank you for reminding me. This is from Spire. It says, dumb that if I buy it physical, I won't get that demo. You were absolutely right. They need to figure that. Oh, they won't now because obviously they're like, oh, how much longer do we have to deal with this? But back in the day, you got to print it out on the receipt or they emailed it to you. Or Amazon would just give you a code. So, B says, "Hey guys, anyone else wish that there was a new Sleeping Dogs?"
No,
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. It's just I'm a little surprised that. I mean, it came and went completely. Like, was that Square? They didn't do anything with it. So.
It was a weird game. Like, it was cool and it had great moments. But I remember driving through whole parts of that city in that game that never was used in the story. Like very detailed, interesting places where I was like, why is this here? What was this for?
I think they were going to try to do a TV series or something with it. Something like that.
Yeah. There's going to be a movie with that one, the Disney dude.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was a movie or TV series. They were trying to do something outside of games with it, though, to try to get some momentum for it again. Casual Noob Gamer says you should have to collect COQ10 instead of letters.
It's CoQ10. It's a supplement.
Gingerbread Tiger Woods became a YouTube member.
Okay.
Cody Bishop says, new RoboCop expansion looks like the Dread movie.
It will look good.
We're about to get
Can't
to
wait for that crossover. That'd be good.
Nacon stuff pulled up right here. Super Christian Me World says, I really want to say Sony is trying in the competitive space, but I'd be lying through my teeth.
You would be. It's not good.
Maybe Evo, though, don't they?
Well, didn't they? Yeah, they bought Evo, so they're at least trying to control parts of it. So maybe.
Elliot says, RGT has good taste. Share is amazing.
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
This guy's going for our monetization.
Casual Noob Gamer says, message is from David.
David.
Super Christian Me World says, shout out to Marco, the drug dealer.
He was my boss at Sonic as well. One time.
That makes sense.
That story.
Was this the one with the gun and the box?
No, that was Big Pun. Big Pun was the cook.
Wait, you actually knew Big Pun, or is this like a person who called him? Oh, okay.
He was a very.
I was like, wait, what? This is an interesting story.
He was like a 6'5", 300-pound Lumbee Indian, so we called him Big Pun.
DC Fat Cat says, I'm looking for a urethra-friendly controller. Maybe Sean can help you with that.
So that's in regards to the Knicks game. I was having some meltdowns, and I said that if they lost in regulation, I was going to do something with my Xbox controller. But thankfully, they didn't lose in regulation. They lost in overtime.
Wesley, new member. Shout out to Wesley. And, oh, there you go. It's your boy says, hey, OJ's here. Shout out to your boy. Let's talk about this Nacon Connect that happened. They actually announced some pretty good stuff. I was a little surprised at this one. I had zero expectations going into this, but even just one of these announcements, I think for a lot of people was really cool to see. Let me see. Cthulhu, the Cosmic Abyss, the Fading of Nicole Wilson, Edge of Memories, that's the follow-up to Edge of Eternity, Raven's Watch. There's Ren Sport. I don't know, Sean, if you saw this at all. It's a simulation racing game.
I did look at it. It's kind of weird because Ren Tech is a Porsche company, so I don't know if it's primarily Porsches because they did show a lot of Porsches in there. So I'll keep my eye on it.
Had a steering wheel too on it, looked like.
Yeah.
A new one. I don't know. That's I don't know if that's a world you're even getting into. It seems like you completed your little setup back there and you're good.
I mean, I visit it sometimes.
But the one that I saw that I was like, okay, that looks awesome, is RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business. It is a standalone expansion or standalone title, I guess. It's going to still be obviously playing off of RoboCop Rogue City, but they do have flashback sequences where you play as Human Murphy.
Yes.
I was not expecting that. I'm curious how they tie that in. Like, what's the story they're telling here?
I wonder how jarring that's going to be to go from Superman tank to this is Murphy and he has a pistol.
Yeah, like the flashback, you see his hand. I'm like, oh wait, he's not RoboCop anymore. And then you see the press release come out. And it's like, yeah, these are flashback sequences that we do because it works into the story for the unfinished business.
Well, it's a big tower, isn't it? Like you're going and clearing out a tower.
Yeah, I believe so. And like the fact that it's standalone is good because it's telling people, hey, you don't need to have Rogue City or technically have gone through it, although you should because the game's awesome. And I think it's like
$5 for less than Steam 10 right now.
It's cheap, yeah. Even on like PlayStation, it's like less than $10 right now, and that easily worth that, I would say. That was a nice surprise. It's not that. I mean, it's been a little while since the game came out, but for like a standalone expansion to drop like a year and a half or 2 years after it came out, that's not bad.
Probably means maybe they spent a little bit more time on it too. Could be a little bit better quality. I have a free copy that I got from Dreamcast guy that I do appreciate.
And it's coming out summer 2025, so it's like 3.5 months, 4 months away now. That's good. Quick announcement, quick release for the game. So I like that. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's see. We had The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu, Dragon Kin, The Banished, Test Drive Unlimited. I actually forgot about Test Drive.
Rest in piss.
Crown.
Rest in piss. Dog pee, so it smells even worse.
Did you see the announcement for this? People were real excited because they have a solo mode in it now.
Solo mode, oh boy.
Fuck that game, dude. How do you fuck that up so bad? So bad.
I only played the old school like DOS.
No, bro. Test Drive Unlimited 2 was the tits, man. It was Forza Horizon before Forza Horizon was like really a big thing. You'd buy houses, you'd do this, that, and the other. You had a bunch of cars. Absolutely disgusting.
Well, that's season 3, March 19th. So
yeah, I hope that game hasn't sold anything.
The Occultist, and we had Hell Is Us there. We've seen this multiple times now, but they showed more gameplay. It's coming out September 4th. The thing that surprised me, and Evan, I saw this, and I was like, I feel like this is a game Evan remembers from back in the day. I
played the hell out of Styx. If you like stealth games, Styx is really good. It was so detailed.
This would be the third one, right? Because we've had 2 of them so far.
It was so detailed before. It had so many excellent mechanics.
I was like, that is the most random, like punch nostalgia. Just seeing that pop up, I was like, really?
That's a game with an ogre-looking fucker on it, right?
It's a goblin.
Yeah.
And it's basically Hitman, but you're a thief and you're a goblin, and it's all fantasy.
Yep.
And I remember massive maps, just tons of stuff to do.
I remember playing the second one. I was like, this is way better than it should be. Playing that second one.
Yeah, it was really good.
Come sail away with me. You can get Styx Shards of Darkness for $2.99 right now on Steam.
It's a really good game. It's fun because I mean, you have all the stealth games where it's literally just like military stealth or something, just flat. This is magic. This is just kind of crazy.
Yeah, it looks cool. The levels and shit look cool.
And that's coming out fall 2025. So that's in, we'll say 6 or 7 months. That's another good announcement to release. So less than a year then. I think I'm going to check that one. I mean, it also depends on what comes out around it. That's tough. Like, because this wouldn't be like one of the top tier games I'd be looking for, but it's still one that I'm definitely interested in checking out. Although I assume, Evan, you're probably going to be on this when it comes out. So
maybe.
No, you seem so excited there for a minute.
We'll see where I'm at. We'll see what's going on. I mean, it's a single player playthrough of a stealth game.
You haven't played any of the 6 games though, Sean. This is a new discovery.
I am the modern.
You might
man.
Like this character. This character's a living piece of shit. Like, he's awesome.
You actually might. Yeah, you might like that. You actually might like that character, Sean.
It's made in Japan.
Is it really
secret? I've got a secret.
Is it really only $2.99 on Steam right now?
Probably.
Yes, I just looked.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's always like pretty cheap. Yeah, there it is. Master of Shadows.
Like, he seems like an ex-employee at Sonic. I think you'd get along.
That
there
was
some hoodlums at Sonic, bro.
No, yeah, I bet.
And then 2017. So yeah, actually, we were getting them like every 3 years, just about there, between the two. So we're pretty far behind on that one, but yeah, it looks like it came out. There you go, same year the Switch first came out. That last one. So it's been that long. That to me, that and RoboCop were probably the two big, for me anyway, the big announcements that were actually pretty cool coming out. But you know, going into a Nacon Connect, not expecting much of anything, coming out with those two, I was pretty happy with it.
They have quite a library of games that they publish. Like I'm looking, they have 300 and some of it's DLC. They have 102 standalone games on Steam right now. That's quite a few.
Yeah, they've been quietly actually.
They also do weird shit, like fucking Taxi Life, a city driving simulator. It'd be cool if it was fake Taxi Life. You could make an interesting game out of that. Pro Cycling Manager.
I don't think you could sell it on consoles on a storefront.
I think you could sell it on Steam, adults only. Ambulance Life, a paramedic simulator. Where's Fake Ambulance? Maybe that's my $1 million idea.
You into paraplegics, bro?
Hotel Life, a resort simulator, Rugby 24, Garden Life, a cozy simulator. Sean, there you go.
Is there a cat simulator?
Welcome to Paradise with a Z.
That's how you know it's cool.
Hey, they definitely do a lot of kind of scattershot. They also do a lot of accessories too. They do like controllers and the steering wheels and everything. So I don't know. They have quite the library they've been building up for a while. But occasionally they get those RoboCops, they get the sticks. You gotta pay attention then. So, not bad for Nacon for Connect. It's, I did want to bring this up. Forza Horizon 5. It's coming to PS5. and people have now discovered that you need a Microsoft account to play it, to set it up. So you will have to sign in with a Microsoft account on your PlayStation 5 for Forza Horizon 5, at least the first time.
Why is that a surprise, though?
People seem a little surprised by this. I saw online.
Why?
A little unsure. They're like, what's going on here? Why do we have to do that? To me, it seems pretty clear that Microsoft is also trying to gain a bunch of monthly active users. That's pretty obvious as well.
Yeah, so they can put it on their numbers.
Yeah. Yep. So that whatever they move their stuff to Switch to, I assume you're gonna have a similar thing. In Minecraft right now, if you like on the Switch, you have to sign in if you want to do any of the online stuff or marketplace, anything like that. So it's pretty common. But I would expect that for maybe like even some of the maybe like Indiana Jones, same thing. Got to sign into a Microsoft account. So that seemed pretty straightforward to me. But I just wanted to bring it up because that seemed to be causing a stir online there. Let's see. We have Mario Day. That is this week. A lot of excitement. They even rented out a whole plane for it. Yeah.
Was I crazy? Because I said like JetBlue. Didn't they have problems when we were kids? There was a crash.
JetBlue?
Yeah.
Did they?
I don't know about JetBlue.
Was there like you mean something that was like really publicized? Like a big deal?
Yeah.
Pretty
sure.
The butt of the joke's always been Spirit, I'm pretty sure.
The Spirit has always been the joke.
Well, I don't
know.
Horrifying joke.
Spirit's terrifying. I've been on it before when I came to go see you guys.
You were why? Don't ever do that.
Well,
yeah, you've got kids, man. If Spirit or nothing, don't show up.
I didn't know at the time. I didn't know Spirit was like that. I didn't know it was a Homelander plane. Like,
just go to Yahoo and see the 2-star review and just like.
I didn't know. I just like, oh, here's a nice ticket. Here's a nice ticket price. Cool. I had no idea about
it's
Spirit.
So cheap.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. Let's save a little bit of money. Yeah, bad idea.
Look, they got the JetBlue. It's like a whole plane that they got there. It's got Mario, Luigi.
You can't even see it if you're in the plane, though.
Is it
Could that when you're walking to the plane?
Apparently, in the plane.
It's value jet.
Well, I mean, yeah, value jet. Yeah,
that sounds. There ain't no way there was a place called Value Jet for real. I ain't never heard of that.
Brand plane, like
yeah,
great value plane.
It crashed into
True
the
value
plane. Glades. And,
bro, you got to be crazy to go on a great value plane, bro.
No,
value the window that just shoveling coal into the jet, just like, oh, we got this.
Now I feel bad because I shaded JetBlue. And I should have been shading Value Jet.
That just sounds. There ain't no way. Really, it was called Value Jet for real?
Yeah, bro.
Oh my god.
Motherfucking.
I feel like on that airline, someone had the conversation of, is this enough fuel? Probably.
On May 11th, the Value Jet Airlines McDonnell Douglas DC-9 operating the route crashed into the Florida Everglades about 10 minutes after departing Miami as a result of a fire in the cargo compartment caused by mislabeled and inappropriately stored hazardous cargo. Oxygen generators.
I don't know, man. Like
they already had a poor safety record before the crash.
The plane stuff seems to be wild. Like if anything, you should be like double, triple, quadruple. Like the fact that we've had so many issues is just wild to me. It's a plane, bro. This ain't like. It's a plane. There should be better safety with it, but whatever.
Nah.
Crazy. Either they bought the rights to them.
Who
did?
AirTran. But then it seems like
is that a parent company of Spirit? Is that how this is happening?
No, it seems like Southwest like merged with them or something or did something. I don't know. Whatever. This is why I don't fly.
Well, they have a JetBlue plane, and apparently in the plane, the touch screens, the entertainment on like the back of the seats in the plane have different Mario and Luigi and Peach and other characters there. So there you go.
Imagine like you're a businessman on that flight. Like, what the fuck is this shit on the side of the goddamn plane?
Well, they also have their Alarmos are in stock at a bunch of different retail stores, just in case people need to rush out and get one. Oh, okay. Let's see, My Nintendo physical reward. There's sales going on right now for some first-party titles that are 40 instead of 60. And yeah, it makes me think back on those Nintendo Selects. It's kind of a shame we never got anything like that this generation. We're still talking about 60 to 40.
Never happening again. Nintendo Selects, platinum hits.
Yeah, if you're going to keep selling it for full price from the beginning, why would you even care about reprinting it?
I mean, but no company's doing that anymore.
Yeah, no, they all stopped.
Greatest hits, PlayStation greatest hits, those are gone.
Digital age, baby. If you want it, get it.
Yeah, they'll never do
I don't really like
again.
the like they'd mess up your collection with like these weird case colors and borders and stuff around it. But still, no.
That's such a stupid thing.
No, those boxes look ghetto though. I don't like. I'll keep it a buck. They look ghetto.
The PlayStation bullshit. I think the red looks cooler than the blue.
No, it doesn't, bro. That looks Ronald McDonald case, bro. That looks like McDonald's.
And if you're colorblind, you can't even tell. It looks nasty.
A Happy Meal greatest hits. Nah, fam, that looks ugly. Blue and nah.
We have the Mario OLED. A lot of excitement there. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, the OLED Switch, and 3 months of NSO for $350.
It's not even like a actual Wonder Switch. It's like just a Switch OLED. It's
just a few weeks before they show you the next system. I was really trying to figure out like who would buy that system right now.
People just novelty. Somebody just wants it just for like the box art.
Yeah, I guess for the box, I guess like serious collectors, but it's not even like a copy of it. It's a digital code for the game.
So
it's like
20 years from now, I got the special limited printed box complete. $10,000 sold. Somebody in 20 years will do that or something stupid.
Yeah, I guess that's true. For like the background in a video for someone on the shelves and stuff. Otherwise, they have demo events. You can meet Mario and Luigi at Nintendo New York on March 10th. Exciting stuff there. What do you count I guess the NSO stuff, the Game Boy is Donkey Kong 94 and
I want to say some things about the Donkey Kong 94.
What happened?
The liars on Twitter. When I specifically asked if it had the Super Game Boy border, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you just change it to Game Boy Color mode." That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for the border because the border looks amazing, and that is not available on this version. Why are Super Game Boy features not available on this? The borders are cool.
That was like one of the first games I thought that did like the Super Game Boy stuff too, right?
Yes, that and Space Invaders are probably two of the best because Space Invaders had a fucking full SNES version of Space Invaders in the game that you could only access through playing it on the Super Game Boy. It was awesome. The bezels, bezels. That's what I wanted.
But, I mean, DK94 is on there. Good game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Good to see that. Yeah. Not really a Picross person. I'm not, so... That was kind of lost on me a little bit. I'll be real. I saw it. I was like, all right, whatever. Oh, Donkey Kong 94. Cool. We'll go with that. I guess that's included in this. I mean, it's Mario themed. Sure. Okay. If you think anything is actually going to
in it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but you think of like Mario Day, you think of I mean, they did what Mario Land 2.
No, this is it, homie. This is it. This is your celebration.
This is it. You think that's it?
Get the party hats out. What else?
They're not going to do anything on March 10th? Mario Day?
No,
Monday?
No. Mario's going to come to your house and pour bleach in your coffee.
Man, that's it, huh?
That's more excited than getting on Value Jet. I'll take that over Value Jet.
Man.
Would you take it over a red PS4 case? I think the red cases are done. Like, look at this.
You really like the red case more?
It's like a really big Switch case.
I think it looks very sharp.
With the stupid thing across the top, I can't, man. I don't know, man. It don't look good.
Like what?
Sorry.
Like who cares about the green? The green makes it pop.
Yeah, put it away.
Nice.
Gosh,
No.
Radioactive green.
And you're talking about a yellow banner across the top of the GameCube games, make it
player's choice, baby.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a player. I just fuck a lot.
What? I remember going to GameStop, bro, and I would see the greatest hits, like a million Ratchet and Clank games on PS2. Their greatest hits were always the nastiest, dirtiest, like the greatest hits, platinum hits, player's choice. They were the nastiest, dirtiest, most ghetto boxes out of all of them.
Here's some platinum hits.
Gosh.
Look at that. Sharp.
Oh, gosh.
Sharp. It blends better. The black
Disgusting.
just sticks out, but like this blends beautifully.
No.
Man.
Like, that's what Xbox is about. The green and the black. Bro, you are erasing the identity.
They did a good enough job of doing
Yeah,
that.
they've been managing that for years now.
They didn't need
I
miles
meant
for that.
we're going back then, not now. They don't even do physical games now. They don't even have physical games with Xbox.
See, I like Medallion's mentality. Galaxy 2. There you go.
No.
That was Shadow Drop, HD Shadow Drop. There, I see a medallion. There it is.
That's not happening.
It's not happening.
Man. No random direct drop on the 10th.
Nope.
They just pushed the February one like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Man, what you read for Mario Day
fucking channels
is what you're getting. What you read is what you're getting. Take your Mario Odyssey discount. Take your Mario Odyssey discount or nothing.
Man. That's it.
That's
Well,
it.
maybe they'll make a tweet about it or something. March 10th.
Bro, they didn't even fucking tweet until the next day about Donkey Kong 94 and Mario Picross on the American site. They just dropped that shit. Next day, they're like, hey, these are available. It's like, what?
Yeah, that was a little weird. I don't know. It's been out of sorts. I guess they're just looking towards the April 2nd.
All right, so what about companies that would like do the hard plastic to the cardboard box?
You mean like the card?
So like
you mean back in the day in like the 16-bit,
like the old PS1 boxes that would have weird.
No. So this is a cardboard Earthworm Jim,
right?
But there is a clamshell Earthworm Jim that came out before it.
I don't mind. I feel like I like the clamshell more.
Okay. I like that box. So that box looks cool.
I mean, the cardboard is fine, but and it's also nice because you can just slip it out.
Cover.
Yeah,
that's almost like a slip cover.
That's pretty cool. I like that actually.
Yeah, I don't mind. The thing with the clamshell though is they're very uniform. Like they don't get squished or like move over a little bit or different sizes when you look. They line up really nice on the shelf.
Like these.
Yeah,
they're solid. Sound when you open them. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
it kind of reminds you of the sound when when you pop the cartridge into the system, like opening it. Is that a little satisfying? Yep.
Good sound.
That was it. Those are the good days. Although whenever you went and rented them from like any of the video rental stores, they gave you that really annoying hard clear plastic case that it had like the universal cartridge fitment in.
Yeah.
You had to like figure out how it went in there, and like half the time.
Well, at least sometimes they would have the instructions on the back of it. Blockbuster did that for a little while, where it would have instructions on the back of your rental copy, so you could see. Some places, like mom and pop places, would actually give you the instruction book.
Yeah, I feel like the places I went to, they tried doing that for a little while, and then it never came back. So they're like, you just don't get it anymore.
That's when you fucking start charging them. Like, hey,
there is no instruction book.
This is a part. This is a part of the game rental. You don't bring it back, we charge you full price.
Well, look, DVD Night 1 says, enjoyed the stories from the good old days.
That's how it was.
Those were the good old days.
Those were the days.
Those were the good old days. Well, let's talk about the Xbox Next Gen.
Why?
Because we're on to the next gen now, Sean.
Are we?
I
must have missed this gen. I thought gen just got started. Because now the games are finally starting to come out. We're
on to the next one. We're 4.5 years. We're 4.5 years into this gen.
This isn't, bro. God damn. That used to be okay because technology was advancing at such a rapid rate, and it didn't take goddamn 5+ years to make a game. It was considered. Look up Resident Evil 2, the original game. Look up the previews and reviews for it. They're bitching that it took 2 years to to come out after Resident Evil 1 because sequels never took that fucking long because they had to scrap it because what you can now play as Resident Evil 1.5 and they just redid it from the ground up and they still managed to come out with that in 2 years. And like, look at the jump in the game, style from that. Like, bro, crazy.
Well, this blew up online. 1.5 million views on it. Like, a lot of people were discussing it because this has to do with a person who seems to cover a lot of the Call of Duty information that comes out. And this is for Call of Duty 2026 is what they're talking about right now. So this is going to be one where they will leave last generation behind. Apparently, we're still going to see it this year. PS4 and Xbox One versions of Call of Duty, which, I mean, 12 years after the system came out, they're still rolling with the new release. But next year, it'll be gone. Apparently, right now, that 2026 Call of Duty is being developed on dev kits for the next Xbox. And there's been discussion around a 2026 holiday 2026 release for the next generation system for Microsoft. And this just kind of leans into that a bit more. Call of Duty would be a premier title for them, so they'd want to, I feel like, have that ready to go for a launch like that. Holiday 2026. Does that, I thought about that. That's it's a 6-year turnaround, right? From release to release.
These consoles nowadays, with how long it takes for games to come out, should not be 6 years. Like, I hated it. Think of how many games came out on the Dreamcast in 2 years. 2 years. Think of how many games. Iconic games. Groundbreaking games. And now we're in this stage where you don't get that sort of turnaround time. Like, it's crazy, bro. I don't understand the rush. Have we really tapped out these systems already?
Is the rush for what? The Xbox?
For the new hardware.
The rush for the Xbox is because nobody's buying an Xbox Series X or S.
So why would anyone buy the new one? What are you going to do differently? I can play those motherfucking games on my PlayStation. The next one's a whole new brand.
Yeah, well, the next one, they're obviously going to integrate whatever their plan is for what's next. Whether it's integrating Steam or
their plan
whatever.
is to make it a $50 streaming box. That's what.
Whatever the case is, like
now that is something I think is
well. Like, they said there's going to be a hardware though. They said there's going to be like a handheld. So
yeah, the $50. Well, the handheld will be expensive, but the box you hook to your TV.
The biggest leap in technology. Remember?
They did say that.
I don't think we're thinking of the same technology, though. Motherfuckers out here thinking, it's going to be like a fucking massive, beefy PC. There are different types of technology. You can make a leap of technology that doesn't equate to visuals. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I think that is what the move is going to be. And then, once again, people are going to be disappointed.
If you go off of the leak that they had, it seemed like it was a system cloud hybrid technology.
Yeah. I think they're going to lean into the idea that people are always connected to the internet anyway, so let's leverage that.
Crackdown, exactly. Crackdown 3 technology can only have the buildings.
For real this time. Like, that was like fake. Like, for actual real cloud technology that's advanced now, and then plus whatever's on chip, the system on the chip. So maybe that's what they're opting for, but they clearly want to get into their next plan.
Yeah, I think they're ready for the which is weird because Microsoft does this halfway through the past couple generations where they get halfway through and they kind of change course for mostly because they're forced into it. And it seems like it happened again this time with the Xbox Series because it's just they went into the generation without Activision. They come out of it with Activision and they're like, oh, we gotta sell a lot of software now. So now it's on other systems. And you're right. I think you're right, Sean. I think when people hear the biggest leap, they do think of, it's going to be this crazy powerhouse system. But I think you're right in the sense that it's more than just like the hardware front. So OS based, cloud based, AI. I think AI would be massive because if they can keep tying Microsoft or Xbox can be tied to AI within Microsoft, they can have it look very, very valuable to the investors, and they won't ask as many questions about why Xbox still exists to them, which is, it costs them a lot of money to develop these different systems. They might be happy selling 10 million Xboxes and then letting third parties sell their own Xboxes as well. That could play into the cloud where it connects to their authentication server, and whatever drivers or anything it needs for the console, it just grabs them and it's good to go after a one-time setup.
But what's the point of it?
They don't have to make as much hardware. They can make third parties make it.
It's there. They want it. They still. I mean, like I said, it's probably going to take a very different shape than what we saw with the previous systems. But hey, it is what it is. They want to get it out. That's their new strategy. That's their new plan. So they got to get the new plan out. Maybe their new plan ties into also getting more Game Pass subscriptions as well, because that's been a little bit lagging behind. So
I think I wouldn't be shocked though if they did show up with a system that had Steam on it. And I think that would
wouldn't be shocked.
I think that would be kind of interesting to see how Sony would respond. I'd be curious how they would respond to that, Sony.
I think people would. That would generally be seen as a good thing. I don't know if people are going to rush out and buy it, but it would generally be seen as a good thing by the most gamers, depending on how the shape of the hardware and all that.
Well, does that mean that Helldivers 2 is on the next Xbox then, if Steam's there?
Absolutely, it'd have to be.
Yeah. God of War on there and Horizon, and that would be a very odd thing to just randomly happen to Sony overnight. It's like, oh, now all these games are on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, now what? That would be very strange because obviously Sony, they didn't even want to put a Horizon Lego Adventures on the Xbox, and that needed everything. That needed all the help it could get at this point. They didn't want to do that.
Could
Sony
they block it?
Yeah, that's what to say. Could Sony block them? Block? Not Steam, but just block their games if it's through like an Xbox. Like if you're buying it through like an Xbox client, like through like
I'm wondering
it identifies it's an Xbox.
I'm wondering if Steam would have a problem with that. If you're
I think
Valve,
Steam would.
Are you like, hold on, we have to block this game? Are you sure? Like that?
I
Valve
like
is a private
do.
company, and I kind of think that would be weird to them.
I feel like they already do. Hang on.
I'm not mean like region. I know there's like certain region blocks, I'm sure, in place. The idea of that, though, would be very... that'd be kind of odd from Valve's perspective to do that. Evan can let me know if that's a thing. Maybe it is. I know that they did block game streaming at one point. That was a whole thing.
That was the NVIDIA thing, though, I thought.
Yeah, there was a blocking in terms of streaming certain games. And I think even then people try to get around it by using the Edge browser, and I'm not sure. That to me, that would be a very odd thing to see just happen. And it's like, oh, Steam's there now. You can play these PlayStation games on your Xbox, huh? The thing for me, though, with Microsoft, what they need to do, if they're going to get serious about this, they got to cut out the pay-to-play online business. Because I don't know how PC and Xbox coexist, these boxes, if one has to pay for online and the other doesn't. Like, that just has to go away.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of a... Most people who pay for online for Xbox, they're getting Game Pass anyway, right? So I don't think there'd be that big of a loss. Are there people who can you even only pay for online and not get Game Pass? I don't know.
They have what's called Core, but you still get a library of games. Like you still get games. So it's not really possible to just pay for it without getting just a selection of titles given to you.
So they might as well just say, hey, look, let's just do this. Since you're right about the whole PC thing. So
yeah, I mean, if they're gonna combine everything and they want it to all be a cross-platform, so you go from handheld to streaming on your phone to your TV to like the other console in the living room or something. Like, to me, you have to get rid of that online paid multiplayer requirement, because then you're never gonna have everything under one umbrella at that point.
I'll definitely help people maybe consider an Xbox if you can get free online play.
And on PC, I'll tell you now, they got to fix a lot of stuff. Like, Evan, do you ever use the Microsoft Store?
Oh.
That needs so much work.
I think the last time I used it was Sea of Thieves. It was garbage.
But it needs so much. That's where Game Pass exists, is in that application. And it's cool because they have those games there, but it's a nightmare to use.
The last person I know that used it, who I was watching, he paid for Game Pass for a year and streamed all the games he was playing, and he kept losing his save files because the Microsoft Store sucks at that. It would just wipe his save file out, and he'd have to start playing again.
That makes no sense. Microsoft is a software company. Why is the store like that? Isn't that supposed to be like their strength? Like,
why?
Yeah,
I mean, you'd think that, but I'm already starting to deal with random black screening on Windows 11 when I restart it. It's like
Windows 11 is trash though. Like Windows 11, I still got Windows 10. Windows 11 is garbage.
Are they cutting support for 10 at the end of this year or something?
They are. But
they want you to move over.
I'm gonna ride with it as long as possible.
That's the thing though. They have a lot to figure out. I'm so curious what's making them want to run to the next generation as fast as they are. Outside of just as OJ mentioned, the consoles aren't exactly selling. They keep declining 20 to 30% every time they report on them. But they
I don't even know how it's possible. It's like they've declined on declined on declined on declined. It's like, bro, what are they selling? Like, they're not selling anything. It's crazy.
But I mean, they
supplement that income somehow, pal.
I mean, Sarah Bond said this would be the biggest technical leap we've ever seen from generation to generation.
They also said you were only getting 4 games on other platforms too. So
they did kind of say that at the same.
Well, you gotta
same podcast, didn't they?
you gotta really dissect it. He didn't. If you really dissect it, he didn't necessarily say it would only be that. He said he'd only confirm that for now. You got Spencered.
I ain't get Spencered.
Did you get Spencered? No, you didn't get Spencered?
I ain't get Spencered.
Then you got filled.
No, I ain't get filled.
You got Phil Spencered, both of them together.
This is becoming a weird conversation of Phil and Sean.
This is from Massive Rican, who says, R.I.P. Marco, a much love to the OG Spawncast. Hopefully Misclick comes through every now and then. She get Misclick back. Send her a message. You're back on. Super Christian World says that Shady Saturday comment was in reference to Evan's Monster Hunter multiplayer comment earlier.
Then I asked him, it's because no one plays.
No.
Just playing with randos.
The Casual Noob Gamer says message and Patreon is from David. Too long for here. Okay, let me see what I can figure out, Casual Noob Gamer. Pickle Rick says, did anybody play Blood or ROTT back in the day?
Blood?
I did not. Blood.
Well, isn't Blood the vampire chick game, right? That's what I'm thinking?
Blood Rain?
That's Blood Rain. That's Blood Rain, right?
Or Vampire Bloodlines.
No, I didn't play that.
I don't think that's what we're talking about here.
I played Blood Rain.
Noah Smith says, anybody else hyped for Expedition 33?
Oh my gosh, yes.
It looks good.
I am incredibly hyped for that game. One of my most anticipated, for sure.
Although we can't get hyped on the previews, right, Sean?
If it's this, it's a boomer shooter.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah. And, Rise of the Triad. So he's asking about boomer shooters.
Oh, Rise of the Triad. Okay, I'm familiar with that. And no,
I'm excited for Expedition though. Yeah, but Sean says you can't get excited for previews. You gotta be careful with those.
But you can look at the gameplay and stuff. I'm just saying, you don't have to lap up everything they give you.
Well, the gameplay looks good from the stuff they've shown. I will say that the gameplay looks good. It looks good. Looks like kind of a new age Lost Odyssey. So,
like what I'm seeing. Lost Odyssey. It's like Persona, Paper Mario. It's got a bit of DNA from lots of different turn-based RPGs.
A lot of baby daddies.
Ruffle Mutt says GTA 6 trailer expected early April, maybe on the 2nd. That would be kind of funny if it happened on the 2nd. That would be ridiculous. Apparently the word going around is it'd be early April for the next GTA 6 trailer. So hopefully it still has 2025 at the end of it. We'll see. Tony Techie Cyber says, I see Microsoft going the Sega route. No
it's kind of like a new version of Sega. Like if Sega was still around and they were doing what Xbox is doing, I think it would be similar to what we're seeing here.
Steam Deck Lex, member for 1 month, says, hello there, lovely people. Glad to see OJ back on the cast. Not going to let you forget that one, OJ.
It's okay.
Lucio says, Sarah Bond, biggest leap if we were in 1989.
Hey.
Did you get your Nintendo Life stuff figured out, OJ? I feel like that's their reference, yes.
Yeah, they reached out to me, said they wanted to speak. I did not reach back. I reached back out to them, but I haven't spoke with them. But they apologized.
We wish to parlay.
Alex guy didn't apologize, but the other guy apologized. So good enough. and he explained. He gave me a long email explaining. He watched my whole 3-hour podcast. I'll give him some shout outs. They seemed concerned. 6 hours, and yeah, they were nice. They were nice about it. So yeah, it's cool. It's over. But I'll probably never go on Nintendo Life or watch their shit again. But you know, like I said, no hate or nothing to them. But I'll never go on their shit again. But yeah, it's not that great anyway. So it's not even like it's like a big loss. It's like shit's not even that good. So
he's lacing up the gloves right now, ready to go.
I'm just saying, like, to keep it a buck, like it's not even that their content's not even that great. I don't even know. I should have never even looked. I should have just did something else. So yeah.
I was looking on Patreon for that message from the Casual Noob Gamer.
It was from David.
Yeah, it's from David.
Would have been a mailbag question from last week.
Yeah, that thread's not up anymore is the only thing. So I have to make a new thread for them to post in.
Way to go.
I'll have to make a new thread. You know, I'll make a new thread for the next episode if you want to post it in there. Yeah, post it in there, Casual. Yeah, I'll go ahead and set it up now, actually. For the next episode, you post it in there, we'll grab it and have it as like the first thing we'll ask Sean next week. How about that? On Friday or Saturday when we're back to normal. Well, normal time. Really, it's still like an hour ahead. We just got
an episode when Sean decides to sleep in.
Yeah, I was trying to think of an easier way for you to just drop it in like now so we can read it. You said it's too long for the chat if you just drop it in the chat.
I usually sleep decently. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me.
Well, I mean, the Knicks had a rough patch there, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, they lose games, and usually it doesn't.
He's inoculated to the losses.
It was just a weird night, and I just couldn't sleep. And next thing I know, the sun was fucking shining. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, Steam Deck says you seemed hurt, OJ.
Not hurt at all. They apologized to me. Not hurt at all. No, like I said, it's all good. I appreciate them reaching out. They, like I said, the dude apologized, so I appreciate the apology. And,
who is the apologizer?
What's
or do you not want to say?
No, I can say his name. We had a public little thing on Blue Sky. Damn, I forgot his name. Shit, I'll remember. Give me a second. Yeah, I think I forgot his name. Damn, it's like Damien? No, it's not Damien.
Oh no, it probably was Damien.
Was it Damien?
There is.
Yeah, Damien McFerrin. Yeah, he apologized. So shout outs to Damien. He explained himself in a long
shout outs
email.
to Damien. He reviewed the Art of N64 Wrestling Games book on their retro channel.
Shout outs. Yeah.
We had this over on Streamlabs from Adam says, with how much of a fumble this generation began, they really should push next gen to 2029, 2030. Longer generations should be the norm. We as consumers spend hundreds of dollars on the system, games, accessories, etc. Longer gens equals more time to enjoy investment.
Yo, y'all chat is weird. How do I sound hurt based off of me not remembering his name?
It's the image they have of you. It's the image they have of you in their head that they're just going to run with.
Yeah, like what? That means I don't care if I can't remember his name. What the fuck? How goofy as hell. All right, whatever.
Well, I'll have that thread up for the next episode. I'm going to drop the longer comment in there. Should be able to. I don't think there's a character limit or anything on that. But I'll set that up so you can drop it in, and we'll ask Sean next week on that one. But I think those are all of our topics. I got everything here on the. Yep, got all the Streamlabs, Super Chats. We're good. Let's go around here. Sean, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on RGT85. I want to give a big shout out to my girl that's locked down, Liberty, on some false charges. You'll beat these charges, girl. Don't you worry about it.
Some tell me she know you that they ain't false charges, bro. No, I'm just
false charges, Liberty.
False charges.
Shout out to Liberty.
Hopefully she's not in South Carolina. It ain't gonna be a firing squad, right?
No. She'll be okay. All right, but
all right, cool.
What's what about OJ?
I mean, not in South Carolina. I can tell you that right now. Find me on YouTube, Player Essence. I just dropped a cool video on Chrono Trigger, about what we could potentially get. I did a little bit of researching there. So yeah, check out that vid, about 13 minutes of awesomeness. Also talked about Fire Emblem and some Xeno stuff. So if you're into RPGs and all that, Player Essence on YouTube. Been dropping a lot of cool videos. And I do live streams all the time as well. So for those who want to know about the Nintendo Live stuff, I have 6 hours where I go over it. Watch my most recent live stream. 3 hours. I go over all the emails, which because they made me do it. So I go over all that. So if you want to know what happened, check it out. And it's from the very beginning. So I title it that way. So you guys can check that out. Player Essence on YouTube.
T-Mock, it smells like your mom's ass. Shut the fuck up.
Do you know that guy?
He always talks shit about me.
The Xbox hater.
He's the Xbox hater. What
shit.
the fuck is wrong with you?
You sound hurt. You sound hurt.
No,
you do sound hurt.
You sound hurt. No.
But Evan, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Kimrex Project if you're into tabletop games and such. We're 1 subscriber away from 9,000.
Yo.
Oh wow.
10K this year? Let's go.
Maybe. A video last week did really well, and the video this week apparently went to South Carolina and for firing squad stuff.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. Hopefully I can get something better out soon, but we'll see.
On to the next one. That's how it is, right? On to the next one.
I'll just let the depression roll off of me.
Thanks. Thanks.
Especially when you spend a lot of time on it, Evan. Like when you spend a ton of time on it and then
you drop a week.
Yeah, you drop a vid and like nobody watches.
Woke up the next day, it was like 100 views. Like fuck, so bad.
That's the first time you heard OJ curse was then.
No,
I'm sure.
You don't watch the streams, do you?
Christian does. He does watch my streams. That's the weird thing.
Sometimes drink tea. Thoughts on Project 8?
Project 8.
Proving Ground.
Can't wait for the remake.
At the time, Project 8 was kind of cool because of the board control, because you could slow down time. So it was kind of a different thing. So as someone who skateboarded, I appreciated it. Looking back on the game, it's not great, but
I feel like even Proving Ground was fine. I feel like a lot of people look back on American Wasteland as like one of the better ones of like that era after like the classic ones.
Or American.
Like I didn't really get into Proving Ground that much
on the DS.
Oh, okay. You like Project 8. Project 8, you're right, was cool because you click in the 2 sticks, I remember, and it would zoom in on your feet, and you just start smacking the board all over the place. So
when we get in the Ride remake.
Okay. 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 You gonna do it? Be my guest.
Attach a Joy-Con to it or something. Make it work.
Better have a roll of coins in your hands or something.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.